Okay, in this video I will do problem number 4 from the review sheet, from the midterm review sheet. And it says to given the network ID and then give the network ID and the number of IP addresses in the subnet for each of the following subnetted IP addresses. And so the idea here is that sometimes you're given an IP address with a slashed value, so you know that this is either the ID of the subnet itself, or maybe it's an IP address within the subnet. And this is an exercise to help you find the subnet ID and to identify whether or not this is the subnet ID or just one of the IP addresses. And with the 68 in the last octet, I'm thinking that these might be, normally if we see a 32 or a 64 or a 192 or something like that in the last octet, we'll think that that might be the network ID, just as in problem 3 where we had 0, 32, all the multiples of 32, or multiples of 64. So let's look at this. Here's the first one, 149.15.232.68/24, and a /24. Well, I do the calculation. 32 minus 24 is 8, and therefore I have 2 to the 8th, or 256 addresses in that subnet. So that's part of what it's asking for. And if I've got 256 addresses in the subnet, that takes up the entire last octet. That takes up the entire last decimal value in the IP address. And so the subnet address is 149.15.232.0/24. And this subnet has .0 as its ID, .1 as its first IP address, .254 as its last IP address, and .255 as its broadcast address, because it's a /24. For part B, it's the same IP address, but now it's in a /25 network. And you can see when you look back at the problem, it's all the same IP address with different size networks. And in a /25, 32 minus 25 is 7, and 2 to the 7th is 128. So now we've taken that last octet, and we're going to divide into the 0 and the 128. So it's going to divide that class C into two pieces. You can think of a class C as being divided into two pieces, one starting at 0, one starting at 128. And 68 is in between the 0 and the 128, so 68 is in that first one, and so the subnet address is 149.15.232.0/25. Okay, and that's because the 25 divides our the class C, that is the last octet, into two pieces, and 68 is clearly within the first piece. Now when I go to a /26, /26, 32 minus 26 is 6, 2 to the 6th is 64, and so I divide that last octet up into 0 to 64, 0 to 63, 64 up to 127, 128, and 192. That's my division into 4 subnets. And the question is, where does the 68 lie? And the 68 lies within the second one, between 64 and 128. Therefore, the answer is 149.15.232.64. 26. Okay. Finally, for part D, we've got 149.15.68/27 with the /27. 32 minus 27 is 5. 2 to the 5th is 32. And we're looking at multiples of 32. 0, 32, 64, 96, 128, 160, 192, 224, and 256. Okay, so the question is, where does the dot 68 lie? And it lies in between the 64 and the 96. And so this one is also subnet ID 149.15.232.64/27. Okay, so the 68 lies between 64 and 96. And this is an easy way of thinking about it. I hope that helps.